Hello, my name's Nelson Nader,
And I'm Parrish George.
and this is Let's Play Mega Man Battle Network 6, Cybeast Gregar. Last time, we beat Base SP, and now, we are here for the final challenge of, the main game. The strongest Navi that we can fight. Wait, that's not Base.
I mean, canonically, maybe Base is the strongest, but...
Oh, there he is. Good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Base is doing the thing, right? In Battle Network 3, he teamed up with Gospel to sort of merge together to get a little bit of power. And he's kind of doing a similar thing here, where he's found a beast on the internet, absorbed a little bit of its power, and now he's coming back for revenge from getting beat previously. So, it's time for the final grudge match. Wait, that's not G-Beast. So, in the 2 years that this LP has been on hiatus, I played through Falzer, and I'm going to show off the Falzer side of this story here. This is the only time F-Beast is going to be able to show himself, so I felt like a mirror match would be useful, and also, I'm going to kind of wait around a little bit to show him off a bit. He's a little bit different from G-Beast. He spends a lot of time shooting the Aqua Needles at you. He's got the high boomer. G-Beast instead has like the little Thunderball, and sometimes I think he might have a Fire Burner. But the big thing that they've sort of got going for them is like the claw move is sort of the same. The big buster after you get paralyzed from the claw move is kind of the same, as you can see here. But the big thing that sort of separates the two of them is their breath weapons that I'm going to hold out for trying to get him to show it to me, and I'm going to get myself massively hurt in the process.
So you've got a little more room to dodge now.
Yeah, a little bit more room to dodge as I get hit. So, he was just about to do it at the end there, but I was kind of running out of patience, so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to hit him. Oops. Could have seen it, but we'll see it again later. The G-Beast, one of the things you're going to get out of the G-Beast fight here is you sort of get the same movement pattern where they stay out of your direct row sight line until they leap up to do an attack. But F-Beast is a little... I don't know how to fight him nearly as well as G-Beast, so I struggled a little bit kind of showing him off there. But the big thing that Base gets from sort of bringing these two back to fight you is he picks up the breath weapon of the beast that is from the opposite version. So he, in my version, is going to end up with the Falzer breath, and if you were playing Falzer's version, he would end up with the Gregar breath. I think him having the Falzer breath is a little bit better just because it covers less space, but it also has a problem where it clears your shield, and I think it might be able to tag you through invisibility. I don't quite remember. We'll see if it comes up in the battle itself. Also, good job moving twice through my laser beam to get yourself killed, GBs. Good job.
I did think that was very odd, considering you said they try to avoid your line of sight.
They do. But when they leap forward to attack you, they will, like, teleport back into whatever the space it was that before they came to you. So I think that's why he was, like, doubling back into that space. I think.
Sure.
I'm talking real hard right there, but we'll see. So yeah, Base BX. I thought he was RV, but I guess he's BX. I don't know what that's supposed to be, like Base Deluxe, but his name is already Base.
Base Cross, maybe?
You know, that is a very smart idea. As you can see there, he was trying to use the ability on me, but he just kind of got him with the machine guns before he could. He's going to use it a lot this fight. Anytime he gets a chance to get close and fire it off, he likes to do it. So, one of the best places to sort of stand is in the center panel to kind of lure it out, so that you can step up or down to dodge it. If you were playing Falzer version, you would want to stand in like the top or bottom row center column so that you could step forward to dodge out of it. But for me, I get a little bit more breathing room doing it.
I gotta say, I really like the use of invisibility to dodge that scatter ability.
The Rolling Buster, God, I hate it so much. I suck at dodging it so much.
Yeah. There we go.
Yep, there's the Big Bird Brain. One of the... Like, I always have struggled across all of the games in dodging bases, like, big buster attacks. In the first sort of 3 games, where it just sort of flies at you and you have to kind of step between them. I've always been bad at it. And then in 4, once he got his full rework, and it just sort of like picks panels randomly on your side of the area, I just have not been able to do it. I have to crutch through on Invis to be able to sort of survive through it. As you can see by the fact that I have lost, 1,000 plus health. I keep pressing the button to do my moves as he's moving, so I keep whiffing him. Like, I think the way you're supposed to sort of build yourself up to fight base in this game is you are supposed to learn his counter timings as sort of an expert level play, so that you can stun him out of any move he's going to do and keep yourself safe that way. Because if you can stun him, then he doesn't get the chance. Yeah, look at me here, just pressing buttons as fast as I can, whipping a safe attack once he moves. Also, that last attack could have killed me if I wasn't just spamming the button. Good job.
I mean, frames win games.
Yeah, right? And Undershirt saved me at the end there for 1 HP. So yeah, that's base. That's the hardest version of base we're gonna get in this game. I barely made it through.
I love that even Lan and Mega Man don't believe this is the end.
This can't be the end, right? He's totally out there, and they're like, well, we're probably gonna see him again. One of the things I've sort of learned in the time since I recorded this LP, this game, Battle Network 6, was not intended to be the last game of the franchise, per se, when they were starting development, but somewhere along the line, they said, okay, this one is going to be the last game, you have to wrap it up. And so they just kind of made Battle Network 6 the last one, and set it up in such a way that it could stand as a conclusion. And I think it does that fine, but you just... It's a funny thing to look at the phrase where it's like, base is base, he'll come back, right? When they didn't make another game for him to come back in.
Yeah.
Oops. So yeah, the rest of this video is going to be me fighting the EX Navis I haven't shown off yet, which is going to be, like, a great change of pace, because they're going to be a lot easier, per se. We're going to fight Colonel, Circus Man, Blast Man, and Judge Man, because, I sort of skipped them up to this point. Like usual, you have to beat them so they show up on the internet as their, SP forms that are really strong, and that you can do time attacks against, but I just left these guys because I intended to show them all at once, and then I made a mistake of fighting Dive Man at some point, because he's in a really weird spot. Yeah. So, if they would have done, like, a 7th Battle Network game, looking at 6 that we had here, where do you think it could have gone?
That's a good question. I mean, we already had, kind of the escalation of scale about just dealing with someone who wants to take over the net, but is based out of your local home area or your metro next door, to, going on an asteroid to save the world from an alien computer from beyond the stars. And now, this one kind of almost circling back in terms of toning down the scale from saving the world from an asteroid to just the beasts that were there at the foundation of the internet.
Yeah. And
so you've covered space, you've covered the distant past in that way. I don't know to what other extreme they could go to.
Yeah, and one of the other things about 6 is, in some ways, it's kind of a reset, right? Because you've left the familiar AC/DC town, you've gone to a new central city, you've introduced new characters to sort of replace Lan's old friend group. Like, in sub-level, it's kind of like you starting again, willing to take a step into another direction, and then at the end they kind of turn it back around as a, like, merging the old into the new. Like, you haven't forgotten where you come from. And I think some part of that turn is because this was the last game, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, you would imagine that they would still do some measure of Lan connecting with his old friends to show that, yeah, he hasn't totally forgotten about his old friends or his crush back in DC, but yeah, there definitely wouldn't have been as much plot focus on them, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, when you put it that way, considering that moving to this new town is almost like starting all over, I guess the most logical conclusion for what a 7th game would look like is just continuing to have more and more gameplay, like 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 up to that point, now taking place in the new hometown.
Yeah. One of the other things I sort of think about it too is they redid all of the sprites for Mega Man for this game because they wanted to use the cross fusion system, where the top of the bottom of Mega Man's body always stays the same between any of the cross fusions, and then when you go the beast out, it changes your feet, and those all stay the same between the beast outs. So they had sort of, like, they did all this work intending to make it better to reuse in the future, and then they never sort of reused it again. So it's just kind of weird in that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also showed off something I rarely get to do because I'm just doing random battles with the Beast Out Cross Fusion combo for the super attacks, and like, man, bosses can just kind of melt when you've got a Maximized Buster for that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like how they sort of incentivize building up your Buster to be able to just do that with whatever garbage you got in your folder to access the power, like, earlier on in the game. That's a really nice touch to help get you through virus battles and stuff, but it's a shame that if I'm doing, like, virus encounters, it's so limited otherwise, where I have to let it build all the way back up.
Right. Yeah, you definitely, can rely on it in situations where you need to, like, encountering a strong boss nappy, but yeah, it's definitely not something that is the dominant strategy that is your go-to for just any, virus net battle.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could just press the instant win button and just instantly win, but I can't. Like, they do a good job in this game of turning the game's sort of gimmick with the Beast Out into, like, this very powerful button that you want to push whenever you can, because it does a really good job of feeling good when you push it. The aggression Mega Man sort of portrays in it, where he leaps in front of people to cut them with swords, or, like, perfectly aligns for chips. It feels pretty good, even if there's, like, a little bit of lag on the front end that can make it feel a little unwieldy against, like, quick-moving enemies. But it helps sort of distinguish it, and then once you increase your Buster and you really get the power rolling, when you can just start dumping your entire folder on guys, you can really rack up the damage fast. So it helps against boss fights if, like, you haven't exactly built a great folder, but you've built a fluid folder, so you can just kind of press the button continuously, and in the downtime, while your enemies are sort of, like, working off their mercy invincibility, you're sort of preparing your next big attack. It kind of works.
Yeah. I was going to say, thinking about the theming of it, how aggressively he leaps forward to use attacks, I really liked thematically how the dark chips worked mechanically.
Yeah, back when they were still in the game.
Yeah, like, I felt like they did a really good job of giving you access to, this is, it'll make you really powerful, but it comes at a price. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, and especially when they give you that hit for free against Shade Man early on, and how the dark chips have glitches associated in battle that tell you how you're supposed to use them. Like, the Dark Sword pushes you forward continuously. Like, anytime you've got it in your like select like you're going to use it in battle. It is pushing Mega Man forward, driving him to get in there and kill him, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to be used. Come on, do it.
And then they kind of realized after 4, like, you know, we put this power at people's hands, but they didn't really take advantage of it, so we need to figure out a way to make it more useful. And then they were like, what if we do the Soul Unison, where we make it evil, but we make it dark? Chaos Unison, baby! And then I love how, like, when they drew the official art for all of the different, like, Mega Man forms you could do through Soul Unison, they just flipped them left ways, right ways, and gave them the recolor. They're like, wow, done! That's a hard day's work!
Yeah, no one can get that.
Yep, but some of them were absolutely ridiculous. Like, Dark and Viz just made you invisible for a while, as you just dumped random chips on the enemies. Dark Wide was pretty good, because it was just 300 damage to an entire field, and if you memorized, like, the quick charge, you could dish it out extremely quick. I played the Kernel version, so I remember those ones much better. Like, Dark Sword and Proto Man version, obviously good, but, like, one of the funniest things was sitting down to S-rank Cloudman in that game, because he's an electric type, and the wood type dark chip is Dark Lance, which only hits the back row. So, like, you just got dried at the start of your battle, and you annihilate that guy instantly. He has nothing left. He's just dead. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming out to watch this episode. Man, we really gotta get back to that expo site, huh? See ya!